session. So today first concept, dynamic handling file system concept. Today first
Okay.
concept, dynamic handling file system concept. Dynamic handling file system. So if you want to create a new file, what is dynamic handling file system? Before going to file system concept, first of all you should know what is flat file. Flat file. Flat file means it doesn't have any predefined format.
And
It doesn't have any predefined format. Any predefined format. It doesn't have any predefined format. So that is called flat file. Like example, notepad, comma, text document. Notepad, comma, text document. So doesn't have any predefined format. Like whatever you want, you can write it. There is no restrictions. Like you enter only caps, so you enter only small letters, so you enter only alphabets, so on you enter only special characters. So there is no restrictions. Whatever you want, you can write it. You can write symbols, special characters, numerical values. Like if you want anything, you can write it. So there is no restriction. That's why that is called flat file. Flat file means it doesn't have any predefined format. Right. So today concept to dynamic handling file system concept. What is dynamic handling file system concept? If you want, create a new file in file system, new file in file system. If you want to create a new file in file system, comma. If you want to write the data into the file, write the data into the file in file system, comma. If you want to read the data from, read the data from file in file system, we will use, we will use file system concept. You can, without going to D drive or E drive or desktop or any drive, without going to anywhere, directly through code, we can create a new file in file system. We can write the data into the file in file system. We can get the data from file in file system. We will use file system concept. So without going anywhere through code, we can create a new file. We can write the data into the file. We can get the data from file. We will use file system concept. So for that we are using 5 predefined classes. For that we are using 5, 5 predefined classes. Predefined classes. We are using 5 predefined classes. We are using 5 predefined classes. One is file. We can write the data into the file. We can write the data into the file. Sorry, we can create the data. We can create the file. We can create the file. Using file, we can create the file. Next, file writer. File writer. So we can write the data into the file. 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 Next, file buffer reader, buffer writer, buffered writer, no space, buffer writer. Buffer writer is used for only if you write file writer, we can't write the data into the file system. If you write only file writer, we can't write the data into the file system. Compulsory we should take reference from buffer writer. Then only we can write the data into the file system. So we need to take the reference. We need to take the reference. Take the reference from reference. So compulsory we should to take the reference from buffer writer. Then only we can able to write the data into the file system. Next, file reader. File reader. We can read the data from file system. We can read the data from file system. We can read the or get the. We can read the data from file system. And buffer. buffer reader. We can compulsory. If you write only file reader, we can't read the data from file system. Compulsory, we should take the reference of buffer reader. So compulsory, we should take that. We need to take the reference. We need to take the reference. I will explain once again. So if you want to write the data into the file system, if you want to create a new file in file system, if you want to write the data into the file system, if you want to get the data from file system, we will use file system concept. For that, we are using 5 predefined classes: file, file writer, buffer writer, file reader, buffer reader. What is the use of file? We can create a new file in file system. What is the use of file writer? We can write the data into the file. What is the use of buffer writer? If you write only file writer, we can't write the data into the file system. Compulsory, we should take the reference of buffer writer. Then only we can able to write the data into the file system. So only for that logic purpose, we are using that concept. So actually, if you write file writer, we can't write the data into the file system. Compulsory, we should take reference from buffer writer. So only for that logic purpose, we are learning this concept. And the file reader, we can read that. We can read the data from file system. File reader is used for we can read the data from file system. If you write only file reader, we can't read the data from file system. Compulsory, we should take the reference from buffer reader. Then only we can able to get the data from file system. That is the five predefined classes. Using these 5 predefined classes, we can create a new file in file system. We can write the data into the file system, and we can get the data from file system. We will use these 5 predefined classes. It's very easy concept, simple concept. Through code, we can create a file. We can write the data into the file. We can get the data from file. We will use this file system concept. It is very, very important concept in entire Selenium and entire Java. All right, go to Eclipse. Right, go to Java, go to SRC, take the new class name is already file is a predefined class, just take spell mistake. Keep the mark public static void menu, click on finish. Now write the code. File f equal to new file. File f equal to new file. Give the path. So whenever you want to create a new file or whenever you want to export the data or import the data, compulsory we should use double backslash. So in the D colon, I'm creating one file. Give double slash akki dot txt. Akki dot text. I'm creating one file. F dot create new file. Just keep the C, automatically it will come. Create new file. Alright. We created one new file in file system. In the D colon. File java.io. Import the statement java.io. Okay. Next I want to write the data into the file. File writer. File writer fw equal to new file writer. New file writer. So automatically whenever you are keeping the cursor, automatically that file writer will come. File writer, file writer, java.io, file writer fw equal new file writer, give the path. No, only if you write only file writer, we can't write the data into the file system. Compulsory, we should take the reference of buffer writer. So buffered writer bw equal to new buffer writer, new buffered writer, new buffered writer. So fw, that logic, this only for this logic purpose we are learning Java. Only if you write file writer, we can't write the data into the file system. So compulsory, we should take the reference from buffer writer. So we need to link to file writer to buffer writer. So that file writer reference I'm writing here. So if you want to write anything, buffer writer dot write madam, file writer write something hi bw dot. 1 second madam, 1 second, I got call, US call. It's very, very important. 1 second wait. Yes, file writer fw equal to new file writer. I'm giving the path buffer writer bw equal to new buffer writer fw. So if you want write anything, bw dot write hi. I want next line, so I'm writing bw dot new line. So if you want write once again one line, bw dot write good morning. Next, if you want to write in new line, bw dot new line. If you want to write anything, bw dot write hello Java, bw dot flush, bw dot flush. Flush is used for we can store the data. Flush is used for we can store the data. Without flush, we can't hold the data. So compulsory we should write flush. Flush is used for it can hold the data. So yesterday we discussed the exception handling. We can get throws. So here it is showing you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 exceptions. So just keep the cursor on underline. Just keep the cursor on any underline or into mark. Just add throws declaration. IO exception. So this is the throws exception. This is the throws exception. At a time we can handle the thousands of throws also. We can handle the thousands of throws also. Now it is showing underlines. So we have it is showing 8 exceptions. Keep the cursor on any underline or into mark or error message. Just click on add throws declaration. So IO exception. This is the throws. This is the throws. Next, I want to get the data from file. So already I created one file that is akhi.txt and I wrote data into the file and I want to get the data from file. So then we will use file reader fr equal to new file reader fr equal to new file reader buffer reader. Only if you write file reader, we can't read the data from file. So compulsory we should take reference of buffer reader, buff buffered reader, br equal to new buffer reader, new buffer reader fr, new buffer reader fr. So here we will use no need, but we can use here boolean. What is the use of boolean? We can get the data, data is having or not, this file is data is having or not, I want to check. So here we will use boolean. In future there is no chance to use this boolean. Here we have chance boolean, data is available or not, I want to check. So here I am using boolean. Boolean var equal to br.ready. Ready is a method, so data is available or not, it will check. If it is available, it will give true, otherwise it will give false. So so control space var data is available or not, it will check. So next, while loop I am writing, I want to get the data from file. While br.ready, ready is a method, data is there or not, it will check. If it is data is there, then it will enter into loop. So just I'm storing the data in string s equal to br dot read line. Read line means it will read the data. So after reading the data, just print it so control space s, so we can read the data from file. So import the statements: file reader java.io, file reader java.io, buffer reader java.io. So we can create a new file in file system. We can write the data into the file system. We can get the data from file system. We will use file system concept. For that we are using 5 predefined classes: file, file writer, buffer writer, file reader, buffer reader. So save, click on run. We can create a new file in file system. We can write the data into the file system. So if it is data there, then it will give true. So it is giving true, data is there. What is the data? Hi, good morning, hello Java. So using this dynamic handling file system, we can create a new file in file system. We can write the data into the file system. We can get the data from file system. We will use file system concept. Without going to D drive, directly through code, we can create a new file. We can write the data into the file. We can get the data from file. We will use file system concept. For that, we are using 5 predefined classes: file, file writer, buffer writer, file reader, buffer reader. This is the concept. This is the concept of dynamic handling file system concept. All right. Next concept, today concept, reflection API. Today next concept, reflection API. API. API means application programming interface. Application programming interface. API contains some set of predefined classes. Set of predefined classes. API contains some set of predefined classes. Among them, one of the class, method class. Among them, one of the class, method class. What is the use of method class? Method class reference can hold any other method in the specified class using same reference. Using same reference, we can invoke that method. Don't confuse it, very easy, I will tell you. What is the method class? Method class reference can hold any other method in the specified class. So we can call the function, so, or we can say simple, my definition. What is the method class use? Using method class reference, we can call the we can call the static function from another class. Already we discussed a number of concepts, 3 to 4 concepts. We called only non-static functions, but we didn't call the static functions from another class. So using this method class reference, we can call the static function from another class. So reflection API. API means application programming interface. What is reflection API? API contains some set of predefined classes, among them one of the class method class. What is the use of method class? Method class reference can hold any other method in the specified class. Using same reference, we can invoke that method or function. We can invoke that method or function. How we can implement, we will discuss now. So using method class reference, we can call the static function from another class. We can call the, already we discussed some of the concept. We can call non-static function from another class using object creation. But here we can call the static function from another class. How we can call, we will discuss now. Simple example I will tell you. Go to Eclipse, go to SRC, take the new class. I'm taking class name is something API. I'm taking class name is API. Only I'm taking class, I'm not taking any main method. I'm taking one class. So for example, I'm writing one static function. First, I'm writing one non-static function. So what is the difference between static and non-static? You can get it. Public void. I'm writing function name is login. Something I'm writing one function name. Login. I wrote one function that is login. I wrote one function that is login. I'm taking go to SRC, take the new class. Only I wrote only one function, that function name is login. I'm taking class name is X something. I'm taking main method, click on finish. So if it is non-static, we can create the object and we can call the function from another class. So already I wrote non-static function that is login. So if I want to call that function, just I can create object. How to create object? Previous class name is API. API A equal to new API. A dot login. So we can call this function. So if it is non-static, we can create the object. But now I want to write static. I want to call the static function. I want to call the static function. So if it is static, so here it will show error. Here it will show error. So if it is static, so if it is static function, if I want to call, then there is another procedure. And how we can call the static function from another class? Just store in one string s equal to, what is that function name? Login. Function name is login. So next, method m equal to method class reference name m, method reference m equal to previous class name API dot class dot get method s, get method s, m dot invoke m dot invoke m. We can call the static function from another class. We can call the static function from another class. So add throws declaration. Here we can get 5 exceptions. No such method exception, security exception, and still it is showing exception. Add throws declaration. Illegal throws exception, madam. Illegal access exception, illegal argument exception, invocation target exception. So 5 exception we should add here. So once again, observe carefully. I'm deleting this exception. This is very, very important. Recently, one of the student, he faced one interview and they said, they asked one question: what are the exceptions in Java? They asked. He said one is cart exception, other one is uncart exception. They asked what are the throws exceptions in Java. So he said cart exception and cart exception. They said go. He came.
Okay.
So what are the exceptions? Yes, just previous concept. There is IO exceptions is there. So after writing code, it will show you underlines. It is showing underlines, madam.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep the cursor on any underline, add throws declaration, IO exception. It can handle all the exceptions at a time. At a time, it can handle the
Oh,
thousands of exceptions also. So this is the IO
okay.
exception. First exception, IO exception, previous concept. Today, now here we can get 5 exceptions. Add throws declaration, no such method exception, security exception. Still it is showing underline. Keep the cursor on that. Add throws declaration, illegal access exception, illegal argument exception, invocation target exception. So these are the 6 exceptions in Java. In we discussed 6 exceptions: IO exception, no such method exception, security exception, illegal access exception, illegal argument exception, invocation target exception. These are the 5 exceptions in this concept we can get. Now we can call the static function. We can call the static function. We can call the static function from another class. Save, click on run, click on OK. So we can call login. So we are calling the login function. Whatever you are writing here, that logic here, login here. I wrote login here. Save, come to here. That login here, it will print. We can call the static function from another class. So here I'm writing, I'm storing any string s equal to login, method m equal to API dot class dot get method s. I'm storing an s string s. I'm storing an string s. So get method s m dot invoke m using this method class reference. M is a method class reference. Using method class reference, we can invoke that method in the same class, or other class. Other class function also we can invoke using this method class reference. Or if you want to call that static function, so simple here we can write, simple we can write, no need of this code, simple other way, not method class reference. Without method class reference also we can call the static function from another class. How we can call? Previous class name is API dot login, enough. We can call that function. If you don't know method class reference, if you don't know method class, if you don't know anything, direct to previous class name dot function name, directly we can call. This is second way. Simple, login here, previous class name dot
Login.
function name. So we can call directly, or we can use method class reference. So there are two ways we can call the static function from another class. There are two ways. One is method class, other one is direct function name, class name dot function name, class name dot function name. So just practice these two concepts, madam. If you have doubt, we can discuss tomorrow. These are the two
Yeah.
important classes, very very important. Tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, within 2 to 3 days we can complete Java. So after that we can enter into
Uh-huh.
Selenium. So compulsory practice required. Java is different, Selenium is different. Without knowing Java also we can learn Selenium. And in the first class itself I said, and now I am saying, without knowing Java also we can learn Selenium. There is no relation between Java and Selenium. But why we are learning Java? That's your doubt. Whatever we are learning in this logic we will use in Selenium. Whatever we are learning in Java, that logic we will use in Selenium. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this logic is very, very important. Only logic purpose we are learning this Java. So this is the two
Okay.
concepts. One is dynamic handling file system concept. Second one is reflection API. Tomorrow our class timings will be 9:30.
Is it?